We are back with another episode of Go-to-Market Plays. In our last episode, we talked about price anchoring, and that's a powerful psychological tool that makes you feel like your offer is a deal. But pricing isn't the only place to use psychology in marketing. In fact, some of the best performing campaigns are built on understanding how people think, decide, and behave. So today, Tamara and I are here with another go-to-market play in 10 minutes or less. But this time, we're breaking down 3 marketing psychology plays that actually work and how you could start using them today.
Let's do it. I love this topic because you and I have talked about this a lot, but like the best marketers aren't just creative. They're behavioral scientists, and there's a lot that goes into this. So they know, these best marketers, that the path to conversion often comes down to tiny moments of influence. It's a specific word choice. It's where you're placing that social proof. Maybe it's a limited time offer. And there's probably dozens, if not hundreds of these we could talk about. But I want to run through 3 today because I think they're great 3 that you could like start implementing in your work. So first up, I want to talk about social proof. It's true, as humans, we look to others to guide our decisions, right? This is true in all parts of our life, and it's true in buying decisions. When we see testimonials, when we see reviews, when we see numbers like user counts, or, you ever go to the Sephora site and something pops up and it's like 100 people are looking at this foundation right now. It's reassuring, right? No one wants to go first. And so social proof gives us confidence to act because we know that this is like a known thing, right? So an example is when I was at Unbounce, we actually ran this massive campaign when we hit 1 billion conversions facilitated. And now, to be honest, like there wasn't really much to say about this, but we wanted to run the campaign as a massive social proof, right? Our whole campaign focused on the idea that if we've helped other marketers hit 1 billion conversions, we can help you get those conversions too, right? And so if you want to use social proof in your own work, it's simple. You basically get those testimonials. Of course, that's a basic one. But even it could be as simple as adding logos, adding numbers, adding quotes to your homepage or different use case pages. Even a tiny bit helps. How do you feel about social proof, Daniel?
I mean, I think it's a necessity now. It's not an optional thing to have. And I also add one thing is, when you're thinking about social proof, you should always use social proof that is as close to what your target audience is. So you don't show a testimonial of Google if you're selling to SMB, and if you're trying to, and if that's your goal to sell to SMB, if you're trying to show Google, show it to more people who are enterprise. People want to buy like that person that they're trying to do. So show them either a persona that's close to them or a logo that is like their company, because they're going to people buy things that are like the same audience. So I just 100%. Wanted to add that part. And a lot of people forget that they just add random social proof, but the best social proof makes people feel like it's for them.
I completely agree. Nothing drives me up the wall more than when I go to a website and they're like, the software for SMBs, and then all of the logos they showcase are like Fortune 500s. It makes absolutely no sense. So you're right. It's like you want to make sure you're getting the social proof that matches your target customer. Okay, are you ready for our second technique? This one is loss aversion. And it's actually an interesting one because basically loss aversion says that people are more motivated to avoid losing something than they are motivated to gain something new. So loss feels harder, essentially. And this is really why limited time offers work. And it shows up in how we frame a lot of different messaging for campaigns. So instead of saying something like, join today and get 20% off, you would want to reframe this to say, don't miss out. Your 20% discount expires in 2 hours. It's the same offer, but framed differently. Or I'm sure we've all seen this before. You go to any SaaS tools website and they'll say like, your trial is ending soon. Don't lose access. And so this concept really focuses on shifting away from what you will get if you buy it. So away from like benefit statements and more towards what you'll lose if you don't act. And one of my favorite examples of this is from Canva. I love a lot of the marketing that they do, but they do an incredible job with loss aversion. And so if you are a Canva user and you're in app and you go to cancel your account or downgrade from their paid plan, they don't just say, okay, sure, hit here to delete. They actually present this like beautifully designed loss aversion screen. And it's a checklist of everything you're about to give up. So if you're trying to downgrade from the Canva paid plan down to free, it's going to say, well, you're going to lose brand kit access, premium templates, background remover, which is essential, magic resize, the list goes on. And so they really frame this as like downgrading isn't just canceling. It's actually giving up or giving back things that you've already embedded into your workflow, right? And they've specifically showcased items that you have used before. And so by showing you exactly what you're going to lose, Canva really makes the cost of canceling feel higher than the cost of continuing. And so if you want to tap into loss aversion, really, it's all about this idea of framing the messaging around what the user is at risk of losing. And typically you want to focus on they're losing time, they're losing access, they're losing progress towards something, or they're losing the opportunity of something in the future.
Yeah, I think I'll add one more thing into that is the reason why this works is our brains are wired for survival. So we're not wired to make rational decisions. We rather avoid pain or loss, and that it takes priority of gain. So losing a deal, like not buying tomorrow might feel so much pain for you to miss out on not spending that money that you doing that. So we want to, as humans, do this, and that's why it works so well. So I think it's the common thing of what all us millennials like is, and fall trap too, is FOMO. We have fear of missing out. I'm actually in the boat. I just saw another acronym is it's not fear of missing out. It's
JOYMO. Joy of missing out. Yeah, JOYMO.
Yeah, that's my new thing. I'm at the stage where I'm a joymo of a lot of these things, but I know I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get into another one.
Yes. Okay. So the last one we're going to talk about is probably one that we've all fallen for before, and it's called the foot in the door technique. This one's so good because it's basically this idea that if you can get someone to say yes to a small ask first, then they're more likely to say yes to a bigger one later. So this is great to implement in marketing, but it's also great to implement in your personal life. And it's basically all about this idea of consistency bias, right? As humans, we want to stay consistent. If we take one small action, we want to make sure that we're doing a similar action in the future. It's how we basically build momentum toward these bigger commitments.
I know people like this, but they want more examples of companies doing this well. So you want to go into some examples of this?
Of course, I've brought some examples. So let's bring it back to B2B. We see this all the time with things like free lead magnets and free trials. And one company that I think does a really good example of this is Mailchimp. We all love Mailchimp's marketing. And it's really simple. Instead of going straight for a paid plan, they invite you to start for free. They have language like create your first campaign. And then they also have language like add your contacts for free. There's no credit card. There's no friction. It's just super easy micro yeses. Like who doesn't want to start for free? Who doesn't want to just test and play around, right? But Mailchimp knows that once you've designed your first campaign, once you've imported your list, you're emotionally invested, right? You've already spent time doing this. You've bought in, you've done the work. And so the next step, paying to upgrade, feels natural. It feels like it should be the next step. And so you're not just signing up anymore. You're already a user and you're just moving to step 2. And so if you want to use the foot in the door technique in your marketing, there's a few fun ways you can do this. I kind of teased this idea earlier. It's the idea of lead magnets and freebies. But really the concept here is just start with something small, but valuable, right? The value has to be there. This might be a checklist, it could be a free template, a little quiz, whatever it might be. And you just want someone to opt in because that's step one. And then once they've opted in, they're really primed for a higher commitment ask. Like, oh, you know what? Let's follow up and ask to book a call, maybe start a trial, maybe attend a webinar, whatever it might be. The second one is get started for free flows. So I talked about this a little bit with Mailchimp, but this is definitely something we can play around with as product marketers and marketers, especially in the world of like product demos. There's so many options here, but let people explore your product without any pressure of having to buy. Like no one wants to get on a demo call with a sales rep, right? You don't want to put a credit card in. You want to just play around. You want to get that sense of if it's for you. So let them take 1 to 2 key actions that will help them see the value of your product and then hit them with the CTA to book a demo or schedule a call. Because the more that they get kind of ingrained in this, the more that they do, the harder it's going to be for them to walk away. And then the final one is using email to start layering some of these asks. And so again, instead of going straight for the like buy now, lead with downloading the free guide. So put your little freebie in there. Then you follow up with try the tool. Then later on, you can follow up with a bigger message like upgrade to unlock even more. And so this comes back to like customer lifecycle. It's pretty simple, but really think about the messages that you want to deliver over time and what micro yeses you're getting customers to buy into as they move through that lifecycle. And this will essentially turn your go-to-market into a ladder of tiny wins that will keep people climbing up and up the ladder towards being a fully kind of paying customer.
And the key here is it's not the first yes isn't about the ask. Mm-hmm. It's about the future yeses. I mean, you could do this in a lot of other things as well with content. A lot of people make the mistake to go with their first piece of content, asking people to attend their event, asking people to buy something. But me and you both know, well, you with your PMM camp and the Market Millennials, it's about giving, and then you've given so many yeses and positive reinforcement that a small ask doesn't feel like a big ask anymore, even if it's big for you to ask those things of your audience.
Exactly. It's about lowering the stakes. It's about building trust and letting people say yes a few times before you hit with them with the big ask. It's kind of like this. If I asked you out of nowhere to get me a reservation at Carbone's, you'd probably say no, right?
No, for you, I would do anything. But yes, if it was a random person, if they haven't done anything. And actually, funny story about Tamara. She loves Carbone sauce so much that they didn't have it in Canada in one of the stores. So she made me bring Carbone to her in Vancouver. No lie on this. She loves Carbone that much. But yes, it's a hard reservation to get.
Exactly. But let's say you didn't love me as much as you do. If I'm just the average person, I'm going to have to start small, right? I'm going to ask you for a little favor first. I'm going to say, Daniel, have me on the pod. Then I might ask for you to shout me out in your newsletter. And then suddenly that vodka rigatoni is within reach, one micro yes at a time.
Now I am definitely craving some rigatoni and some grandma's bread. If you have not had rigatoni and grandma's bread at Carbone, you are missing out. And that might sound snotty, but it is very peak to have that. But let's bring it home. Today we've covered 3 marketing psychology plays that actually work. They're tools not only to help you build trust with your audience, they reduce friction, and they guide people towards action. And that's what you want as a marketer, is action.
Absolutely. Steal these, use them, and the next time someone asks you for a favor, you'll know exactly what's happening.
Don't ask for that carbon reservation up front. That's the biggest takeaway of this podcast.